BGFM 106.3, my very great pleasure to welcome to the program now Ralph McAllister. Good morning, Ralph. What have you been consuming recently?
Well, the book I want to talk about, I can't because I'm only about 100 pages to go, and I'll do that with you next week.
Okay.
But, of course, just before the lockdown, I think Kay sent me from Paper Plus the latest Greg Hurwitz, and it's called Into the Fire, and I'm not actually certain about recommending this unless you're a Lee Child fan, millions of them, David Baldacci fan, millions of them, Alan Coben. You know, it's in the genre of those books with lots of violence, lots of clever plotting, and Hurwitz came to my attention a few years ago with he's prolific, by the way. He's English and he also lives in America. But the first one I read of his was called Orphan X, and that became an enormous bestseller. And since then, he's written 3 other Orphan X's, the same characters, I mean. And this one's the 5th. It's called Into the Fire, and it's his hero, anti-hero, Jack Reacher type. He's called Evan Smoke, S-M-O-A-K, and he was brought up in a foster home. He lives now on a breadline of nothingness, and yet his mission in life is to help those people who really need help, and it means usually either killing people or sorting out the most horrendously violent programs or problems. He's decided he's getting a bit old for the job. This is Evan, not Hurwitz. Right. And he's decided he's going to do one last job and then he's going to retire. Well, of course, we wouldn't have Into the Fire, the new novel, if he did, because he can't retire because somebody appeals for his help, a chap whose marriage is on the rocks and his wife's, left him and so on. And he's been allowed my dear friend next door is just throwing some rhubarb my way.
Oh, rather nice. Okay. Much more healthy than a spear.
Oh, no, it's just so lovely. The sun's shining, and back to Hurwitz. I'll go and say hello, a bit of hello. Thank you to Glennis in a minute. Do you like rhubarb, by the way?
Oh, absolutely. Too right.
Anyway, Into the Fire is pure violent escapism. It's very well written in terms of those parameters. And if you're interested, as say, in Childs and Baldacci and all that, then go for them, when you can get to the shop again. But as I say, there's nothing too intellectually frightening or stimulating about it. And I just found out that my other neighbour next door had already read it just the other day. He's not a reader, and he loved it. So it might be a very good introduction. And I love books like that get people reading, and the more reading they do, of course, the better for our local bookshops and also possibly for their own fitness and state of mind. You can't just watch telly or do push-ups all day, can you?
No, well, certainly not the push-ups. And I find there's a definite limit to those these days. Lovely to talk to you once again, Ralph. Thank you so much for your kind company. It's so much appreciated here at BGFM. Thank you.
Okay, you're very welcome, John. Bye-bye.
BGFM, locals talking to locals.